Hi everybody, welcome to a special edition of Tuna Roll. In fact, we're going to call this segment Straight from the Wizard because that's what we got. We got Andrew Wiltse, a jiu-jitsu wizard, commentating on this amazing, mainly wrestling match that my teammate had. Also, check out Andrew's Patreon and his Gym Rat program. It's an amazing program that he helps level up other jiu-jitsu players and take them to the next level.
Our boy Trevor over here on the right side from 10th Planet versus a tank. Oh, fuck. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's see what happens.
Let's go.
Yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Okay, I already don't like the wrestling stance. All right, we're gonna complain already. So, there is actually no good reason to be in a stance like this. Okay, look at the hinge in his back, and then look at like how his hips are not underneath him. His center of gravity is out here right now. It's not over his legs. If the other guy pulled him forward at an angle right now, he's immediately going to have to put his hands on the mat, and he's fucked. He's going to get front headlocked, or he's going to get spun behind. So this is why I'm so big on actual proper mechanics and stance, because this shit's not going to cut it. It's just not. Even if the other guy created an opening, he wouldn't be able to shoot with enough power because his center of gravity isn't correct. Like, his legs are almost completely straight. There's just only like a slight bend in them. You need your center of gravity to be with you here. It needs to be here. You need your hips under you. You need to be loaded up, ready to shoot for real. Your legs should be taking all the weight. Okay, that's an arm drag right there. That's an arm drag to a single leg on this side, because he has control on that side. So right now, if he were to go and even like a fake arm drag here, he slaps the back of that far elbow and then immediately beelines towards this and spin out shots him, the guy's fucked. I don't think there's enough pressure on that head to stop it. Okay. Okay. That would have been a good time to start doing slide-bys. Flat-footed. Right there. See it? There was no point in level changing down like this because now he can't go forward at all. And even if he had grabbed that ankle, he wouldn't have been close enough to do anything with it. So the whole point of wrestling stance is just to be loaded up the entire time. I can't see chat, by the way, right now, guys. I'm gonna have that fixed for the next stream, which I'm gonna do this most of the day. So I have to catch up on a lot of reviews, and I might as well. Okay, he's a little more loaded up that time. Oh fuck! All right, why did that happen to us? All right, so this is a really good time to do the super duck that Alejandro does. All you do is open your elbow up, and then you start to shoot in on this side, anyways, or what you do is you open the elbow up, you go to tap this leg. When he picks that leg backwards, you duck out on this side and get under the shoulder, and then you drive. So it's a very high percentage move, mostly because the trickery on it works. Okay, he's way too planted right now. That's what it is. So you see how this is completely bent and he's flat-footed? That means he absolutely cannot adjust his weight on this foot right now. So the other guy does exactly what he should do and just beelines at that foot. So he really needs to get on his toes. You can't not be on the balls of your feet at any time, just because of the risk of something like that. Alright, so when he got our legs picked up, what should we have done? Here? Okay. That was not the answer. That was the wrong answer. So what he did right here is he accepted he was getting taken down. That is a defendable single leg still. The other guy doesn't have control of the far hips. And what he can do also is he can take his leg and put it under the body, connect to the shoulder like he did, and he can probably roll the guy, honestly, right now. But that's still accepting that you're getting taken down, and I don't think you have to. He could have been making space between his head and the other guy's head, getting separation between the chests, and then that's a really low grip. Like, he can probably turn and drag his foot out this way with no issue. So he gave this up way too easily. Omoplata. Omoplata. Yes! That was clean. Wait. Alright. I said it was clean way too early. It was a good idea to go for it. It didn't quite work out. And that's okay. Alright. So, why'd that omoplata fail? Okay, here's why it failed. So, the first thing he's trying to do is trying to get to the omoplata right away instead of prepping it. Okay, he's trying to like kind of bring his foot in front of the face. He's holding the head. He doesn't need the head anymore. He actually needs to be pushing the head away. So, really what I'd rather see him do is take his knee and drop his knee down on the shoulder line. Because what that'll do is take this bend in his elbow and make it bend like this now. So now you've got a good omoplata setup, and because you're making separation between the head, you have a bunch of free space to start bringing your foot in. So the foot comes in last. It's honestly the least important part. It's important to get at the end, but it's not part of the prep work. And I don't think you needed to grab your shin there. It's not a bad idea, but I would have grabbed it under instead of over. Like, instead of using my palm over the top, I definitely would have came under the bottom. Eddie Bravo's Kung Fu move really is actually the way from this one. Alright, he went to the leg right away, and then he just lost it. Okay, he got tanked. The guy was just powerful, and he didn't have quite good enough setup. So, double unders no-gi are not actually a real threat. If you have baseline flexibility and you're just decent at defending them, the pass itself is not the problem. The problem is that they can chase your back if they put your feet on the mat. So, I don't care about someone doing double unders to me whatsoever, unless I have a hurt rib or hurt back or something. I only care about the fact that they could chase my back, but most people aren't good enough to really do it. So, he's doing kind of the right thing, blocking this. So I actually try to push the elbows up. So what I do is I actually get my hands under their hands, or I get my hand under their elbow, or I grab their elbow, and I peel this up, and I start to, so like right now I would take my hip and scooch it out this way so that my angle is facing in. And what that does is it buys me a lot of room here to get my knee line back out from his elbow, and once my knee line's out, I'm out. So they're really easy to defend. Making sure that happened was a good idea. Now right here, what he should be doing is what I said to do. He should be taking his elbow, or his hand, pushing his elbow, and just pushing up on it. And you should almost like wiggle his legs side to side as he tries to get his knee line down. Once his knee line's free, he's good. Now that you can't let happen. You can't just let your legs get power thrown to the side. Oh no. Okay, this was a good... So, okay, this happened. Here, he should have rolled through. But this way had a potential to work. It just has a risk. The risk is the back getting chased. So if he'd have rolled through this way right now, instead, so like gone through this way instead of trying to roll through this way, he'd have been fine. Because here, you could see he was already going to get this blocked, so he knew his knee wasn't going to open up well enough, and this guy was going to pivot around because he had momentum to pivot around, and he's a fast tank. So here, he should have just pushed the elbow off. The guy had nothing to really grab. This would have came off. He could have got his knee line back in. Okay. So another mistake. Now we're in real fucking trouble. He should already be sitting through. He should be trying to take his right foot and hook as far over here as he can. Get his left foot to hook the butterfly hook somewhere. And it would have worked out fine. But this is dangerous. This is really dangerous. Yeah. Okay. You're out. Kind of. I think you get away from this if you're careful. Okay, so here is a slight problem that people do when they do these sit-outs. If you look and you see how he's going straight forward, he actually needs to get his body rotated and corkscrewed. Because right now, if you think of his plane as this, and he's just thrusting his hips forward, that's not enough power on where the hands are locked up. So what you actually need to do is get the hands onto the side of your hip, one side or the other, and make that plane longer. So instead of being a small profile like this, he's got a huge profile, and he can take his... Imagine that this guy's Trevor. Now the hands are over here, and you can push your hands out sideways into the hands. You can easily unclamp people's hands or have enough space to dig your hands back in. Now, once we went for that ride, I think he did the right thing turning back into a turtle. I would have came through and hooked this leg right away, just to have some kind of control. And that control point would have been me trying to get my other arm back around his leg to grab it, and then sit back through to a guard. But the other guy has pretty decent control. But you can't sit here. If you sit like this, it solidifies, and when it solidifies, you are fucked. So like here, he really should be getting his knee on the outside of this guy's leg. Because once he does, he has something he can clamp on. And then when he goes to sit through to half guard, this guy doesn't have anywhere to really run to follow him and spin around him. But you really should be thinking about getting to a guard. Improving your position is your goal, not getting to your feet. You have to take what options they give you. Alright, get back to your turtle right now. Alright, we didn't get back to our turtle. Why did we let him just pull us backwards? Okay, you're also flat-footed. Don't want to be flat-footed. We want upwards posture right now. If we're going to do this, you might as well get to your feet if you're going to get to your feet. But you have to get to your feet and corkscrew into him. You've got to be facing him at the end of that. And if you're not going to do that, you might as well get down into a real turtle with your elbows clasped. The fact that you were postured up but not actually getting up is why he's able to just pull you backwards like that. And this is not the place we want to chill. I can't see what he's doing with his other arm, but here, this is something you could free right now. So people don't think in terms of micro bursts and micro movements, but like you're goal right now is obviously to turn into him a little bit and get back to a turtle without getting front headlocked. Now, the problem is he is preventing you from rotating this way by keeping his hand in the back of your elbow. So now you got to think, how do I unclasp that hand? Not how do I turn. You problem solve this differently. How do I unclasp his hand? Well, it looks like you can bring this knee up and you can actually push that into him. You could bring your elbow down by your knee and bring his hand with you, and then you could use your knee to unclasp it. There's a good chance you could just bring your other arm over, grab his fucking wrist, and then pull it off, and then you could quickly turn and spin into him. You could probably get up onto your knees before you get up onto your shoulders, and then you could use that rotational force to drag yourself down or drag yourself forward into him. There's a lot of things you could do, but you got to think in terms of small problems to solve big problems. There you go. So that was good. You see how you used his hand to unclasp it? That was perfect. Okay, we're getting to our front headlock. That's Riddle barking right now, guys. Okay, there we go. Now, no, don't back out of this. Okay, when I did my little wrestling thing that I taught at Northern Illinois Combat Club, all the smooth brain morons on the internet were like, but my coach told me to put my knee down. Your coach is probably a high school wrestler or a college wrestler. He's not an Olympic level wrestler. You don't want to put your knee down on the mat unless you have a really good reason to. It doesn't actually increase your ability to go forward or shoot or pick anyone up. All it is putting wasted energy on the mat. You should just condition your legs to be able to walk and pick shit up from that low. You should do your squats and your lunges with correct form. Okay, so right now, instead of backing out, you should have fucking penetrated. Like, if you just took your knee and you just jammed it in between his legs and then started really posturing up, that's your option to get out of this. Trying to back out is actually just giving him your neck in an isolated way, and you're going to have to pull guard to probably get out of this. Yeah, you gave him too much time, and now we got to come down into a turtle. Okay, that little twist right there probably just saved you. That was good. Okay, look at your stance again. There you go. That was a good attempt. Now that is why I kind of preface a lot of my arm drag stuff with that. Like, I don't always go for the Marcelo drag or the Wiltse drag, whatever you want to call it, because it's just too easy to stop. All he did was what you're supposed to do. He just skipped out of it. So I use arm drag to penetration now, or I use arm drag to spin out shot on the other one. I will use my old variation, but it's just against a really, really good wrestler, it's not as effective. And if they're ready for it at all, it shouldn't work. Dude, you gotta go for this. You gotta attack this one. And because it's the far leg, you go to fake drag this side, and then you spin out shot this leg. Okay, that club should have been a takedown for you. Look at the way he clubbed. Look at the opening you have right now that you can't take advantage of because you're not in a stance. You're flat-footed, your knees aren't bent, your hips are a little better, your back's a little bit straighter. That's all fine, but you're not low enough. If you were low, you even matched his head level at all, when he goes to do this club, look at his elbow line. And that's what matters. It's not the hand, it's the elbow. Because the hand itself, you just blast through. It's too weak. It's at the end of the leverage. The elbow is the problem, and the elbow is way the fuck out of position. So you level change right now, you fucking blast double him, and he goes down. And you had a lot of time to react to it. It looked fast, but there was a lot of telegraphs going on. Now this guy is planting his feet. So all you got to do is snap his head down a little bit, make him really plant, and then you just ankle pick him. Easy takedown. Guarantee he's not going to be able to stop it unless you can't finish the single leg for some reason. Got to be careful about his slide. Hey, okay. Throw that by. Throw. Take that. Throw it by right now. He has no whizzer. You can guarantee get on his hips.
1 minute.
Oh, fuck. Okay. This guy's just picking us apart wrestling-wise. So, where was our posture wrong? He is... So there's a thing about my underhook versus your overhook. You don't have an underhook on him right now. He has a badass underhook on you, or overhook, and his underhook is better than your overhook over here. So he has complete positional control, and you're leaning and he's not. His hips are under him. He's loaded up. You could not load up in any direction right now. So his posture is just better, and that's why he's able to do this. This could have backfired, though. If you'd have took your hand and just started putting cross pressure down, like trying to push this side that way away from you, and slipping this hand out, he doesn't put you down. You just you spin out of it, and you're okay. if you'd have managed to dodge that foot catching your foot at all, you'd have been okay. So being a little lighter on your feet. Man, we got whiplash though. Alright, right away we got to think about our frame. Yep, getting that frame in is the right call. There you go. Jam that elbow way under his hip. Okay, guys, Honey Badger's Guide to Defense is coming out soon. It's my mount escape, back escape, and side control escape instructionals. We need to learn to never, ever, ever sit. When we have our frame, no, the frame's not good enough yet, by the way. That should be in like this almost, because you want to lift with your elbow and never your triceps and never your hands. He had this in front of the hand here. This, what the guy's doing, is negligible, because what you're going to do is just going to defeat it. You're going to take him over your head this way instead of pushing him down towards the feet. Shrimping that way is the least effective way. You know, trying to push a guy away from you towards your hips is actually just giving him control again, because you want him away from your hips. So
30 seconds.
But you can't settle in this position. Like, you really have to be going nuts trying to get out. But it's got to be a controlled nuts. It's got to be a controlled spaz, because if you just freak out and make openings, you're going to get tapped, or they're going to get mounted, or they're going to get your back. But you're losing hard when you're in these positions. You need to get back in the match. You don't deserve the right to conserve all your energy and escape. If he plays correctly, you don't get to do that. Nice escape right there. There you go. You're back in the match, right in the offense. Get any kind of point. Get any kind of points. Something on the board. Yes. Okay, let me talk about that shot attempt real quick. So there's a reason why you're not really supposed to lead with this arm. And this is why. He touches the leg. He doesn't have anything to stop him from just going this way right now. So that's a problem. What you should have done is connected with this hand around this way, and then you could have spun yourself around the outside, and that would have been a much better shot.
5.
Okay, oh fuck.
3.
This tanky fucking wrestler. God damn. That was clean.
Time.
Okay. So, you got things that you need to work on. Massively need to work on your wrestling. It looks like you have an idea of what you're doing, and that's almost more dangerous, because you have the wrong ideas, and they're hurting you. I don't have my wrestling instructional out yet, but I will. But I have videos of me talking about wrestling, and I got my wrestling techniques from Olympic level wrestlers. So it's about as high as you can go on the totem pole in terms of getting direct information on wrestling. You're really complacent in bad positions, which you shouldn't be. You should be utilizing 100% of your energy in these positions. There's no point in ever doing anything at 50%, period. It's just inefficient, and it doesn't work out as well. And then if you're worried about your cardio, use less targeted microbursts, but you should always be using 100% on everything. These front headlock positions, you try to back out a lot instead of going forward. This position, you're on your knees, and you're just in big fucking trouble. But that happened because of little mistakes you made before that. Your omoplata attempt, I thought was a good idea. I wish you'd have defended the single leg more first, but you did go for what I consider to be a good move in that position. So yeah, kudos. Yeah, bad positions, just getting smashed. We really gotta get that, not frantic energy, but consistent honey badger on meth energy. So, oh, that was fun. Thanks for sending this in, Trevor. And it was really nice. Appreciate all we do for the jiu-jitsu community. And yeah, I have no problem with you using this video on your channel whatsoever. Dude, I never care about shit like that, dude. Feel free.
Way of BJJ.